America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, Minneapolis PD is coming under fire for having a track record of heavily investigating so called Black leaders and activists and ignoring white nationalists and white hate groups. Are we surprised? Nah, this is so typical. So it says that they have a rotten police culture. Yeah, well, hey, y'all had Derek Chauvin on the squad. Enough said. The Minneapolis Police Department turned a blind eye to white nationalists and white supremacy movements online, even as its officers created fake social media accounts to surveil and troll law abiding Black community leaders without a public safety objection. That's one of dozens of shocking revelations from a 2 year investigation by the state government's top civil rights enforcement agency, which found that the Minneapolis police engaged in a pattern or practice of race discrimination. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights launched a probe days after the police murder of George Floyd in late spring of 2020. The agency examined more than 700 hours of body camera footage, nearly 500,000 pages of police documents and use of force reports, dozens of hours of police training sessions, 10 years of police data, and the results of 15 community listening sessions. The findings are distilled in a blistering 72-page report that brims the evidence of MPD's discriminatory policing. The report blasts city leaders that has allowed the department to fester, enabling unlawful police practices and undermine public safety. Mm, mm, mm. The problem at MPD began with vile language from police. The report blasts MPD officers who consistently use racist language and slurs. They call so called Black individuals N words and monkeys and called Black women Black bees. The report reads, adding one MPD supervisor referred to Somali men as orangutans. The racism was even directed at MPD officers of color who reported that their colleagues called Black MPD officers nappy headed and cattle. Mm, mm, mm. The report also called out the stock misogyny of police who, uh, what they did was they demeaned women that were part of the police force, calling them effing C's. They called them the B word and cussy, a derogatory term that combines the word CP. I should say these words. This is what the report said. So, anyway, such abusive language from the police undermines the criminal justice system, the report says, citing local prosecutors who find it challenging to use police body camera footage in court because of how disrespectful and offensive MPD officers are to criminal suspects, witnesses, and bystanders. Despite this glaring lack of professionalism, the report notes that MPD officers are trained to demand unquestioned compliance from members of the public and often cite citizens for obstruction or disorderly conduct for behavior that should rightfully be characterized as pissing off the police. Racist violence. The department racist language correlates to racist actions that have put lives at risk, investigators found. MPD cops use disproportionate force against so called Black residents who make up just 19% of the city's population, but are subjected to 63% of all use of force incident that MPD officers record, the report said. So, what they're finding is they heavily focus on the Black community there and largely just ignore whatever white people do. But we know that's the norm in America. Okay, so the the Black residents, drivers are also stopped by police vastly out of proportion to their share of the population, accounting for 54% of the traffic stop. To control for other factors than race, investigators monitored traffic stops just before sunset when drivers would be visible to cops and after when darkness would obscure the occupant's race. The results: MPD officers were 12% more likely to stop a vehicle occupied by a person of color. When it was light outside, the report says MPD searches of cars during traffic stop. The investigators found that also racially biased Black drivers accounted for 78% of cars searched by MPD. Controlling for other factors, cops search, cars nearly twice as much as white drivers. Again, not shocking. It's amazing. Y'all know all of this about the police force, and you do absolutely nothing to shut it down. You will just come up with your report. You may publish the report, but it doesn't go any further than that. And these same officers that are doing this on a daily basis, they keep their jobs. Just like the FBI have known for decades that the police have been infiltrated since they have existed during chattel slavery. They let all kinds of white supremacists be on the police force and they know they are there. Again, I heard it all over the years. I haven't seen one single thing done about it. So, F your report. If there's no action behind it, then these reports are literally useless. Okay, you're giving us the knowledge about something we already know, but in the same token, you are also an official agency and you failed to shut it down. So, what good is all of this at the end of the day? You get tired of hearing about these things and then you got Joe Biden who don't want to get rid of qualified immunity, but look at what motorists in our community are going through on a regular basis. This is not just Minneapolis. This is all over the country. And nothing will ever be done about it. All right, so you acknowledge it. Okay, so let's move on. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. And you see how Congress is not even revisiting the George Floyd Act. They're not even talking about it. They're not even talking about it. And they know their voters are really ticked off at them right now. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.